Something you forgot along the way. Stories of wisdom and learning. Today's story is number 19. Promises are to be kept. A young man was taking a walk one day when he came on a shabbily dressed little girl crouched by the side of the road, weeping as she clutched some broken pieces of pottery. Gently, he asked her what the trouble was. It seemed that she was an only child whose only parent was seriously ill. She had borrowed a 1 liter jar from the landlord and was on her way to buy milk when she dropped the jar and smashed it. She was crying in fear of a scolding. Feeling sorry for her, the youth pulled out his wallet and checked it. But he was a poor scholar, and the wallet was empty. Come back here tomorrow at the same time, he told her. I'll give you the money for another jar of milk. He shook hands with her and went on his way. The following day, he received an urgent message from a friend. A wealthy man is here, someone interested in sponsoring your work. He's leaving in the afternoon, so come right away. Yet going to meet the rich man would have meant breaking his promise to the little girl. The young man quickly sent this reply. I have important business today. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I must ask him to return another day. And he kept his promise to the child. The would-be benefactor at first took offense, but on hearing what had kept the scholar, he was thoroughly impressed and became his most ardent supporter. Rich people can be touchy and difficult to deal with. They tend to think that their money entitles them to have their way in everything. Even those who are not rich will all too often break any promise and bend any principle for the sake of money, becoming its slaves. The Chinese character for making money is composed of elements that can be read trusted person. In other words, money comes to those who are worthy of trust. The basis of trust lies in keeping a promise regardless of its cost to oneself. Promises that cannot be kept should not be made. He who breaks a promise not only inconveniences others, but inflicts damage on himself. Okay, very good. This is a very heartwarming story about living our life by principles, by parameters, and not by our desires. Yeah, promises are the second parameter uh, to do what we said we were gonna do. That's the second parameter to follow through. And all of these parameters or daily good practices, they guide us to true happiness, happiness that never abandons us. However, because we are a mass of desires, we are an embodiment of desires, even if we tell some people we're going to do something, if a better offer comes our way or something that is more exciting or more fun, because of our endless desires, we all have the tendency or the potential to actually break our promise in order to engage in that fun or more exciting or more profitable interaction. And actually, from Buddha's perspective, this is the reason why we keep suffering no matter how hard we are pursuing happiness. We are planting the bad seeds that bring us bad results, which means suffering, disaster, or bad health, etc. Yeah, so if we don't want to suffer, we have to stop doing bad deeds And breaking our promise in Buddhism is considered a bad deed. Of course, there are emergencies, when there is life and death situation or our health is gravely being impacted. We can always notify the person. These days, we have phone, we have social media. We can always apologize if, for a very valid excuse, we cannot fulfill our promise, only if the excuse is really valid, like life and death. But anything else, which is, we always have tendency to put our own needs above others. And in this way, we are inflicting harm upon them without our knowledge. Yeah, Buddha says this is why we are not finding true happiness because of ignorance. Unknowingly, we are, it said in the text here that, yeah, unknowingly here, those who break a promise not only inconvenience other people, but inflict damage on themselves. So, damage, maybe we can understand it as suffering, as pain, lack of happiness, lack of joy, lack of peace of mind, and all those things. Yeah. And because we do this so unconsciously, we're not aware of. And that's actually even something more dangerous. Because if we are aware of something, we have control over it. Like, if we know eating this kind of food is very bad for health, if we have the knowledge, we can stop eating it. But if we don't have the knowledge, we just eat it and then we become sick. That's really disastrous, and not much people can do about things that they are not aware of. Yeah, so that's why listening to Buddhism, joining this recitation meditation, is helping us to gain awareness of what kind of things we say to people, what kind of things we are doing every day, and what kind of thoughts we allow to pass through our minds. And then, for the first time, thanks to that awareness, the light of the wisdom of the Buddha, we will be able to choose the high road, which is, even if it's uh, painful to me, once I give my word, even if a better offer comes my way, I need to follow through and keep my promise, and not put my own profit or my own well being above everybody else's. Yeah, that self centeredness is not good. Okay, yeah, so it's a very touching story. Yeah, and it's actually in our Buddhism Academy, they ask us to meditate on this story. What would you do? What would you have done if you had promised this little girl and a benefactor visited the town? What would you have done? It's good to meditate on it without jumping to the answer or the conclusion. So, good job, everyone, for being here. Today is Tuesday. So, oh, sorry, today is Friday. Today's Friday. We just finished the advanced group session. Yeah, today's Friday. So, we're going to have the advanced group session at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then, Purpose Lab at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful end of your week. Bye.
Bye.